The much anticipated Araneo TLC is here, and with it comes one of the most amazing creature glow-ups that we have seen in ARK to date. The new Araneo model is awesome. Yes, it is still a spider and tickles the back of my arachnophobic mind, but the overall design is very well done. This new spider model manages to keep the overall feel of our old faithful ARK spider, while at the same time feeling sleek and modern and super creepy in all the best ways. I love the subtle fuzzy texture on the Araneo's body and legs, and the redesign to its face makes it feel sufficiently different from the spider that we are used to, while at the same time not feeling like just a sized up Cosmo. Overall, the new Araneo model manages to pull off a very convincing arachnid that truly looks and feels spider-like in every way that is needed. But the sleek new model is not the only thing that has changed for the Araneo, and we now have movement that both looks and feels like this creature could truly be alive. In addition to the expected forward and backwards movement, the Araneo now also has a side-to-side strafe, allowing it a nearly unlimited range of motion. And if that was not enough to get your spider position just right, the Araneo also turns in place. When sprinting, the reimagined Araneo now lifts up its two front legs and folds in its pedipalps in a truly terrifying display. No doubt these new spiders will haunt the dark corners of our nightmares from here on out. And don't think that terrain is going to save you from these arachnid horrors, as the Araneo can now perform a jump to round out its movement capabilities. In terms of attacks, the Araneo has a left-click bite attack, which both does damage as well as covers its victims in a sticky web with every bite. The applied webs stack up with every attack and slows both the victim's movement and attack speeds and makes them take increased damage. At 5 stacks, your victim can no longer jump or sprint. Killing a webbed up creature will allow you to harvest their carcass for silk that you can use to craft your own desert armor on any map that has Araneo now. Holding the right click and pressing C will swap between the web shot mode and tether mode. When in web shot mode, the Araneo can fire a sticky web shot with right click, and you can swap between 2 web options while in this mode by holding the ARK key. The first is a basic web shot firing a white web projectile that will do damage and add to the sticky webs to slow and debuff its victim. The second option is a poison web shot, which fires a green web projectile that will do damage, add sticky webs on its victim, as well as add torpor, so that you can use the Araneo to trap and knock out other creatures. If you take the time to breed up and fully mutate the Araneo, you can even use it to knock out a Giga. So anyone who already has their spider breeding lines going will be very happy to see their hard work pay off in the future. Both of these web shots can even be used underwater. But do keep in mind though that the Araneo is not a great swimmer, and you can easily get yourself into trouble if you decide to take your spider into the Ark's oceans. Killing a creature with the web shot ability while it is fully webbed up will cause a web explosion that applies the webbing effect to any nearby enemy creatures. This ability will for sure come in very handy when you are facing a group of enemies. When your Araneo is in tether mode, you can hold right click and use left click to shoot out and attach a tether, basically giving you a biological grappling hook while riding the Araneo. You can use spacebar to reel yourself up and X to rappel yourself down. When hanging from the ceiling, your Araneo will gain the ambush buff, which makes its next attack deal extra damage and apply maximum stacks of web to its target. And while you're hanging there, you can now use the Araneo to shoot webs down at your prey while staying safely out of reach of their attacks, making the Araneo an amazing little ambush tame. You can use these biological grapples to grapple onto another creature and either pull it to you or pull yourself to it, depending on the drag weight of the creature that you latch onto. This can be great fun if you need to make a quick escape or if you want to try and pull a smaller creature out of a dangerous area to tame. But I'm sure that in time you will find many other creative uses for this ability. Pressing the left control key will snap the thread if you want to release the spiderweb grapple. While in tether mode, you can now use the Araneo to place temporary biological ziplines by shooting your web between 2 points, one slightly higher than the other, just like you would a normal zipline anchor. These ziplines will last for 30 minutes and act like a normal zipline in that it is usable by players and other tames like the Ravager and Gigantopithecus as well. However, there is a limit to how many spider silk lines your Araneo can place, and trying to place down more will see one of the already placed ziplines disappear. Jumping next to a zipline or a placed spider silk zipline will make your Araneo hop onto the line, allowing it to climb up and down the line and reach anywhere your heart desires. Holding C while on a zipline will make your Araneo flip upside down, just like the Ravager, allowing you to crawl along the underside of the line. You can also web descend down from the middle of a zipline or any other spot really by holding down the X key. If you tap the C button, your Araneo will enter climbing mode. In this mode, you can scramble up sheer cliffs and cave walls and even go sit upside down on the ceiling, just like a real spider would. Holding down the X key while you are climbing on the ceiling will allow your Araneo to gracefully descend on a spider web. Dismounting while your Araneo is sitting upside down or hanging from a silk thread will not cause it to fall down, so you can safely store your spiders upside down on the ceiling, stuck to the wall or dangling down from their webs to save space in your base. The Araneo saddle also had a major rework and can be unlocked at level 40 for 18 engram points. The saddle is crafted in your survivor's inventory for 140 fiber, 260 hide, and 100 chitin or keratin. I am very glad that the Araneo saddle got a major revamp, and I have to say that this one is very cool, sporting some spider silk elements, a tiny skull, and even a little nod back to the broodmother with some spider detailing on the sides. Araneos still spawn in much the same places as they always did, and you can expect to find them mostly in rocky and lava areas, as well as in most caves. But with these new movement abilities, be sure to keep your eyes peeled for Araneo waiting for you on the cave walls and ceilings, and even dangling about the place on little silken threads. Caves are a fair bit harder now with the new spider mechanics, and this new Araneo will force us to make sure that we are well prepared for any cave runs in the future. Of course, the same can be said for the Broodmother arena, as the new Araneo bring a brand new difficulty factor to the boss that we all know and love, especially if you are unlucky enough to find yourself running around being chased on foot by the Broodmother's web-slinging children. In the new TLC, the Araneo is no longer an annoying passive tame requiring you to sneak up behind them to feed your taming food, while all the while holding your breath and hoping that you're not detected. To tame an Araneo of your own now, you need to knock them out with trank darts or arrows. Luckily, the Araneo is easily held in place by a carefully aimed bola to make taming a little bit easier. Once knocked out, simply feed them some superior kibble or better to convince them to join your tribe. If you don't have access to superior kibble yet, you can use spoiled meat at the cost of losing a few levels and spending a little bit more time taming. The Araneo's torpor drains quite quickly, and depending on your server's taming settings and the level of the Araneo that you are taming, you are likely going to need to use some narcotic to keep them asleep long enough to add them to your tribe. When tamed, you now have access to a magnificently versatile and surprisingly mobile little mount to accompany you on your adventures. You can even place the Araneo into turret mode around your base as part of your defenses. Setting the aggressive Araneo to turret mode will make it assume a stance, ready and waiting to shoot its webs at any intruders in order to keep your base and surrounds safe. The Araneo can be bred and will produce a very strange looking egg for you to incubate. However, Araneo eggs cannot be used in any kibble recipes, and they do not drop on fertilized eggs either. Your baby Araneo will need raw meat to help them grow, but you will find that your tamed spiders will happily eat all of the spoiled meat out of your feeding troughs first. Baby Araneo look very much like ticks to me and truly possess a face only a mother can love. But they are a necessary evil, as these babies allow you to breed and imprint a mutated spider with the best stats to take on the Arks with. Although the new Araneo is no doubt going to fuel my and many others' arachnophobic nightmares for the foreseeable future, the overall creature redesign is very nicely done, and the abilities feel very polished and easy to use, transforming a historically useless creature into a fun new addition to our Ark adventures without being game-breaking in any big way. Have fun out there wrapping up creatures and scuttling over ceilings. Until next time, Survivor, tot ziens en lekker speel!